Welcome to a journey through the life and times of Joseph Stalin, a pivotal figure in history whose impact resonates to this day. Join us as we unravel the complexities of his story and the era he shaped. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for more intriguing historical explorations. Let's dive into the life of Joseph Stalin and the world he inhabited. Picturesque town of Gori, nestled within the rugged landscapes of Georgia, a child named Yoseb Chugashvili entered the world on a chilly December day in 1878. The humble dwelling where he drew his first breaths was adorned with modesty, a harbinger of the unassuming beginnings that would mark the trajectory of his life. Yoseb, affectionately known as Soso, was born into a family ensconced in the throes of poverty. His father, Bessarion, toiled as a cobbler, striving to make ends meet in a world that seemed perennially at odds with them. The weight of destitution bore heavily on their shoulders, a constant reminder of the hardships that sought to define their existence. In the narrative of young Soso's life, tragedy made an early appearance. At the tender age of 11, destiny dealt a cruel blow when an industrial accident at the factory where he worked led to the loss of two of his fingers. This was not merely a physical impairment, it was a metaphorical mark, a scar etched into the young boy's psyche, foreshadowing the struggles and challenges that lay ahead. Yet, adversity, as if acknowledging the resilience of the human spirit, only seemed to steel Soso's resolve. His intellectual prowess and thirst for knowledge were apparent from a young age. A scholarship granted him entry into a theological seminary, setting the stage for a future seemingly rooted in the ecclesiastical. However, fate had other designs. The seminary became a crucible for the forging of revolutionary ideals. Within its walls, Soso encountered a trove of literature that ignited the flame of rebellion within him. The austere corridors of theology gradually gave way to the fervent corridors of radical thought. The young man cast aside his given name, adopting the moniker that would resonate through the annals of history, Joseph Stalin, the Man of Steel. A metamorphosis occurred. Shedding the skin of the past to embrace a future fraught with ideological fervor and revolutionary zeal. In the tumultuous times of early 20th century Russia, Stalin's ascendancy was meteoric. The Bolshevik Party became his canvas, and his rise to prominence within its ranks was a testament to his charisma and strategic acumen. The fateful year of 1917 witnessed the culmination of years of fervent activism, the October Revolution. Lenin's demise soon cast Stalin into the role of the protagonist in a political drama that would shape the course of a nation. Stalin's reign was a tempestuous odyssey. The promise of industrialization and modernization clashed fiercely with the realities of oppression and suffering. He engineered vast economic reforms, propelling the Soviet Union into a new era, yet the cost was steep. Forced collectivization and merciless purges marred his legacy, leaving scars on the collective psyche of the nation. Amidst the growing shadows of World War II, Stalin emerged as a paramount leader, orchestrating his nation's triumph in the face of adversity. The world bore witness to the might of the Man of Steel, his unyielding determination a beacon of hope for his people. Yet, beneath the facade lay a man plagued by paranoia, a thirst for control that knew no bounds. As the sands of time trickled away, Stalin's health deteriorated. The years of wielding absolute authority weighed heavily upon him, a burden that grew ever more oppressive. In the early months of 1953, fate beckoned, and the mighty Stalin succumbed to a stroke. A man of towering ambition and unyielding power had breathed his last, leaving behind a legacy etched in the annals of infamy and the memory of a world forever changed. The life and times of Joseph Stalin stand as a chilling reminder, a tale of the indomitable human spirit, the intoxication of authority, and the profound scars left by a man who dared to shape the world in the image of his vision. Positive aspects of Joseph Stalin's rule. 1. Rapid industrialization and modernization, **. Joseph Stalin is often recognized for spearheading rapid industrialization within the Soviet Union during the late 1920s and early 1930s. The first five-year plan, launched in 1928, marked a significant turning point. This plan set ambitious targets for heavy industry, aiming to propel the Soviet Union from an agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. The plan focused on sectors like steel, coal, and machinery, greatly expanding industrial capacity and infrastructure. While this process was harsh and demanding on the population, it undeniably bolstered the Soviet Union's industrial might. 2. Collectivization of agriculture. Stalin's policy of collectivization sought to consolidate small, fragmented farms into larger, state-controlled collective farms. The objective was to increase agricultural productivity and efficiency through centralized planning and pooled resources. This policy aimed to ensure a more equitable distribution of land and resources, intending to modernize agricultural practices and provide a surplus for the growing urban population. Although it faced considerable resistance and caused immense suffering, proponents argue that it laid the groundwork for a more organized and technologically advanced agricultural system. 3. Emphasis on education and literacy. Stalin's regime recognized the pivotal role education played in shaping a prosperous nation. Investments were made to improve educational facilities, expand school systems, and enhance teacher training. This concerted effort led to a substantial increase in literacy rates, providing millions of Soviet citizens with the opportunity for formal education. The focus on education was seen as a means to create a skilled workforce essential for the industrialization drive and to elevate the Soviet Union's intellectual and technological capabilities on the global stage. In hindsight, while these initiatives are acknowledged for their impact on transforming the Soviet Union into an industrial and educational force, it's crucial to acknowledge the suffering, sacrifice, and human rights abuses that accompany these policies. Balancing the achievements with the associated costs and consequences remains a subject of historical debate and analysis. During Joseph Stalin's era is challenging and varies among historians and researchers due to the lack of precise records and political considerations. However, it is widely agreed that millions of people lost their lives as a result of Stalin's policies and actions. Here are some estimates of the death tolls associated with Stalin's rule. 1. The Great Famine. It's estimated that several million Ukrainians died due to the forced famine inflicted by Stalin's policies in the early 1930s. Estimates vary, with some suggesting that between 3 to 7 million people perished. 2. The Great Purge. During the late 1930s, the Great Purge led to mass executions, forced labor, and deaths in the Soviet Union. Millions were arrested, and the death toll is estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands to over a million. 3. Labor camps and gulags. Millions were sent to forced labor camps where harsh conditions, executions, and mistreatment led to significant mortality rates. Estimates of deaths in these camps vary widely, but they are in the millions. 4. Executions and political repression. Thousands, if not millions, of people were executed for political reasons or perceived opposition to Stalin's regime. This includes not only political figures but also intellectuals, artists, and anyone suspected of disloyalty. Considering all these factors, estimates of the total number of deaths during Stalin's era often range from several million to over 20 million. The exact number remains a subject of scholarly debate and ongoing research. As we conclude this exploration of Joseph Stalin's life and influence, we invite you to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Was Stalin a force for good, steering his nation through troubled times, or do you view him as a leader whose actions left a dark mark on history? Your perspective matters, and we encourage a respectful and insightful discussion. Let's engage in a thoughtful dialogue about this complex historical figure and the impact of his legacy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us in future discussions on significant figures and events. Thank you for being a part of this journey through history.